It's like the police might be very right now that the now structure of the fight might have been maybe within the plan by the design as well as like the want to land trick papers and the doing some of the public money that when have a good effect on that plan to trick the public into form like the bank to land take away all that money and put the blame on bank for which now they have been that's the case that because anytime like if that it might have been the data to the domestic framework of that one and like the bank that they might have executed that and it means the logging of it might have been happened as like a set of that execution of that domestic plan might have been executed so that 50% of that what might be that huge sum of money the bank might have put the blame on that bank robbery the 50% of that huge sum of money that the bank might have still be given it to the one and the rest left the bank might have just looked at it for that without the public relations might have been what might have happened is that the might wasn't very perfect. So it's like definitely not looking very interesting right now for the actual and willing to learn. But it's try to actually the succeeding in it and the end of delivering that to successfully managing to that skillfully plan so but without any other without none of that precedent finding out except for Starlight. It's like not that was delivering like Starlight, happening to that find out that the full information of like to have it planned as like the right so we would be doing it like at the frame like Starlight but I'd like the point with like happening to figure it's a bigger brain. Something at that point that Starlight definitely will be deciding to that inform about like that his action of that finding the to homeland or catering, but like she will be about to that tell them and will be going up to their home. At that point, I'm also looking for that form that starlight to get that absolute song of that basically of like a scene like I'm going to bring for that either homeland and like catering or like containing also supposed to be not homeland and like catering and like when the so that's basically sitting around the table and like simply joking about like around situation, especially for the because like the opinion and then about like making fun of that tree and everything. Stuff deep into the real. So that I'm trying from the at that only at that point that start like in both that you can get and so that's why Joey had sort of told that Terrence Tower slash Snark Terrible. And at that point I'm also trying with for like Starlight to you kind of be able to like understand that the screen or maybe that might be something to get that doing and the extreme rate and suffering so that might be okay related that to and that's the reason for like to planning the mathematics. All of that like by feeling that conversation between that and zero making fun of that theory and all it stuff like that would be instantly be able to like get at such lunar thing. So at that point I'm not going to start like it's a secondary decision to like see that information about like the planning the path. I think that from that that very now that I'm going to and that way like from that point on I'm going to for like Starlight to be interested in like the gas of chemistry and that here like Starlight going out of her way to that find Fury and basically interact with Fury. And even at that point, I'm not even Starlight maybe to show that threat for like this is a passion for like to say the world like the Starlight still getting desperate and that Starlight maybe desperately believing that like she might be able to like change themselves when for something like service and everything and along the lines like maybe Starlight uh, bring about positive change to like the seventh and like change like the corruption within like the seventh to their own maybe Starlight and maybe feeling so that that point that maybe maybe an Starlight should express they got that's like quite forward actually within like the seventh and eighth year to that especially without all like the corrupt secrets about like the sun to that village and they knew that way that they might be able to that put an end to that the concept within that was to be enough along the lines of those things that to be and Starlight and might be planning at that point. But like at that point I'm trying for that for like 2 weeks to be not already agreement to that plan as you said with the getting Starlight and this that Starlight shouldn't give up you know, self respect and that keep continuing on and that's the seventh and basically that like Starlight give that's the seventh and they that join with like Hughie and Billy and like together then they can join forward and like they must that going down like the seventh and employee like the seventh and like to be an organized maybe that to be recommended to me. So again, I'm still started maybe sticking to that really and we started running back to like the seventh and like attempting to that fight in like the seventh and everything while still staying on to like the seventh like the seventh. But like after trying like eventually that the situation and like the seventh like when we getting to the screen situation where like Starlight not being able to handle that danger anymore and basically Starlight that bending out one day and then operational or like Starlight declaring combination from the seven and quitting and Starlight that we're quitting so like the scenario that I'm going to play. And at that point, I'm going to bring Starlight to be replaced by like the ball counter that thing is now standing on me. And that way, after like quitting that percentage, like I'm recording Starlight getting a join the group of not beneath and to select is not that I was bring right now. Bring my book theory. Yes, so like lead my computer and see right now when like compound we might be a cluster of building at next level like the case maybe an actual compound and like we might be like separate and like the latest addition of like such a compound and it might be meant for like things like like the board organization to increase their profit margin by increasing tax crime rates like and different like what about human intervention that like what organization might do might be they might be strictly using their this is like their power and influence to like get things out of that person and bring them to the compound from one to the one to five and basically to bring them there and that in those compounds that the scale of like those benefit and the criminals might be provided in these compounds like they might be like provided with like those food there as well as well as all the necessary weapons as well as like equipment like needed for like the people to help in that sort of range of criminals like commit more crimes like unspoken in a realistic manner, like the work organization might be providing them and like all of it and like the I think compound I think that is about the case might be that that will the case that we don't so like that we're going to master initially like the work organization might be misusing their power and influence and getting those might be getting things of greater things coming out like the manner at that point that they will be using the power and influence to like train that force that the trained of criminals like escape out of that and actually they might be steadily getting transported from person to the compound from one to three or like one to five. So yes, but we don't consider the reception right now that like so much standards of that thing that might not reach like the point where like I'm delivering uh right now for like the complete interaction between like Tui and Starlight that going on and basically neither not only Tui but like none of like the public that will be passing by through close to that area in terms of different to the recognizing stuff like just like personality. Or then that still get the conversation between that creation stuff like then personality that was different. So that then like having that interaction and like them going their separate ways and basically uh and like the next time you we need to start like more different would be most likely while you would be going up to like the sun's down to like plant about and like at that point we getting set up this sort of realization of like starlight is being one of like the center reflected it's now that I'm going to like I'm not studying. Okay, so that definitely might be the ambition right now for like fully empowering might be starlight approximating like the full extent of like the height of like the security uh, I'd like the one predict my key. I'd like to send some my key exactly the videos of being great because like I'm the looking for that there to be like CCTV monitoring everywhere to be like the one building. It's like this might be the case of travel, which is like I'm definitely looking the CCTV capture the act of like doing taking out like the plastic tape and like flushing it and all of that is like it's not that I'm looking at. Get like I'm looking solely by their left hand person alone like I'm the for like the person monitoring like the like sensitivity in that area so the cellular that I know so different like doing smart than is in like a conversation with like some one of the like friends in the CCTV monitoring room exactly by the friend to doing that exact kind of thing. Not that and that way that things to live missing out that crucial. uh, moment is that within our that are really common. Yet like I'm sitting in my friend with one that to would be steadily placing like the bug until like the table like at that point I'm so thing for like absolutely none of like the definitely catering more like none of like the security it is just in that about only seeing it but like I'm definitely putting stuff right to the like just going to show up at exactly that point in the little bathroom at like starlight at me and as you don't realize it's like you know starlight going up from behind uh but thank you usually right that they might be seeing that the bug under like the table like starlight totally sees that like it's not that about yet like starlight in the inside of so like that way I'm going to pray for like starlight it on creating and all that going up to and fighting you and like talking to you like it's not that so at that point, I'm notifying that Charlotte trying to like get Huey to like talk to reveal about the bug and like Huey and for this thing to be start making to put him on that and to way acting in front of like Charlotte and has some message and deny and everything. So like at that point, I'm notifying like Charlotte integrating Huey by telling Huey that basically that Charlotte will have like the seven about like to taking the bug. So like at that point, like I'm sort of to the yeah, actually giving it and actually revealing about like Robert, you know, and all of the stuff you want and let's do and later into something things. So like that way like at that point I started actually deciding that to use that to use like motive like changing and basically that way at that point I started deciding to take these side about like tools and so that even the film the survivors for the to be implement only a great violent tool that could be the alone that and then for like the name of that person even being able to that for benchmark that tools as like and started to like even have develop that specific tools like tools that we have today. So definitely probably the same only like the similar while they will be just when I was and then going through that those usually visuals of like Sui coming through that seven tower and they only at that point that they will be and at that point I'm for the time more like so seven stuff only more finding out about like the planning that the bug, but also that by taking through the PVTV that the seven also like finding out about like Charlotte having seen that the planning that the bug and having chosen to that eventually remain keep it silent uh, and remain silent about it that turned out fine. Maybe possibly only at that point that like Scarlet to the even seeing that homeland is like total of the land and protecting that homeland was like a villain might while telling Starlight to like leave also telling Starlight to be prepared to like face that the consequence of happening on the outside world. William couldn't actually father like and protecting most likely might be late that might be late to like to confirm that might be that it is but to like for like to be on alone at home. And at that point when I was going for like most likely the invisible hero as well as like a like showing up to like to so with that aspect that like with not that so and the only thing like to be while playing all alone like maybe playing if such has good joy from feeling that maybe playing music at the phone and that dancing a joy of victory and everything or right when I'm looking for all something like when that's uh that complete destroyed and basically that phone that to that I'm just of the that the invisible hero and will stand fighting out of the going up by the sort of like is that none of that is what it's like. And at that point, I'm not preparing for that. For to be catering that I'm focusing to be starting integrating work to with like not that I'm focusing and definitely I'm preparing that catering at that point, mocking about and making fun of that Robin right in front of that too. And definitely that telling to consider how dare he even attempt to that spike on like the seven working around the night for the later that morning and a fun that around it as well as that generating fuel and basically I'm that to taking a lot of the research that was not that was way. And I'm not trying at that point like airplane telling to that up to see the and intent says like I'm like airplane telling to that like furious like love and final warning to never mess with like the seven. Is like the when the scenario that was so that Adrian doing that much and like while laughing at like laughing at like the and the brand indicator and in the theory like I'm from like Adrian along with like the English hero leaving his home like not that so like so after like Adrian and like in the hero leaving his home when I told him things without it really like that to my father to make it back home with that scenario that I was looking to because that was showing like him fighting Chewie on the floor as the taking the in that episode making the stage like it's not and at that point like Chewie not even bothering to find to even reveal to the like father of like what happened because like Chewie at that point would be feeling absolutely something that like how feeling the word to say like not at that point, I was about for like vaccine in the shirt that really lacked love insert in the snack room and they has like to be lying down like and without creating it or like actually perceiving that the from Billy like snark that under the point where like the blame to Billy he might also not much in a time at all might have failed except like the but into that here like the conversation like the I like the sunshine and everything. But like at that point, like the that Billy might have not really realized that the situation basically their plan or found out and plan having failed and everything. So that straight away Billy falling to it in a concern manner. At that point, like I'm talking like to that to be so fully frustrated with like everything is uploading delay that actually cutting like not picking up like the call. Yeah, at that point I'm looking for like what we need to be extremely concerned about like the situation and like to be coming all the way to like to to see which I left to use the that so fine and basically at that point that really going to like use home and protect my electricity straight away last beliefs of using like doing that uploading this data. And at that point, after preparing for like to that can believe to that never visit to ever against like now is that the and then also preparing that leap for like to that not betray belief during that while that iterate about no be basically confronting uh doing that and that point after preparing that iterate trying to that get the information out of that the iterate believe and like we might not be just like when they do that, we might be able to like create like the bug of the minimum to like in even interrogating to find out like to get like the bug to like to but like it's so different for like we totally not straying away from the actually stand of that blue light which like to be healing even by take all that in the it's like doing scenarios that are and then doing that created like the bug to be along the line but like he's still taken by that chance of it but actually will be feeling so grateful towards like to it for like not feeling about like to it. And I'm totally going for like even at that point like maybe a train still not being done with like to because like the fact that like they have to like attempt to like trick a train and like certain like episode maybe that resulting in that a train not being able to like get over that maybe a train comes from like to this come for like these fathers like without that from that way like I think can got to be one that is situated where like he would be without probably ever get that feeling after that the incident is like right according to the tradition like definitely at that point like by silly would have moved on from like to and we would have moved on from the like from that point then I was in like the talking now of like to his like father most likely by a train happening that was not that was but as like a brain like absolutely pick events again like to that a brain maybe going to eventually ending up to the extent certainly more brain way. So that kind of so like to being in that as well song of black building black power. And also different actually at that point we don't be not be aware of that what had actually happened to that use that power just like it's not like what like one certain is lost like near the temperature so that by you would be in that at the shop like that and chat about that the some lot of Lexus father. So then I'm going to find that for like thingy to that so to that to this place the next time like not better on the way to me out of it thing for like to at that point so only finding out that like once again it's like a rate it's just based on the temperature and at that point I'm going to find for like to reach to that do all of this like fear to like a train and like the balance and basically to it making it as like top priority top and one and only priority is like for like if it was like when that like a different like to like bring down Adrian and like the sense like basic knowledge that way like I'm bring south of bring Huey and the reunited perspective now that I'm going to bring also like the point of the right now and that people are not trying to follow and delete at Huey and transmission myself aware Adrian about like about the mainly like it is the but like the brain like so string in forms like and like a brain and I'm really often man of my doubt or from since that like first of and feel it my dear friend like a friend might also and looking at level friends so that's yeah different right now for the fact like also getting like to being getting there like to actually trying to like around the state but like the cost you will be able to like escape like I'm like actually getting captured by a train it's like it's not sort of thing and a train bringing to straight into that to electronic shop and there I'm the train for like a train for single handedly and by then I'm notifying like maybe it's one person to have defeated that to have defeated Billy and like basically that way that them putting Billy and Huey together and basically at that point that basically I'm referring that Billy and Huey getting badly injured and basically at that point like Adrian chose that absolute one to like Huey and Billy to like never even think of that message with like for 7 basically then uh really just like that is like you know that was the thing was there. Definitely, my difference that actually might be someone who in that but might have lost the black entire family due to that the seven might be like actually to be the same thing. So that the lead as a finger and the thing right now is for like it's also related and like I'm not like dedicated trying to use like invisibility coming and done. And I'm no different at that point I'm no different more technique for like to lead to like come up with like this like ultimate master plan in order to like keep belief like to safe as well as to for them to like have like the ultimate from that to like to obedience like sword and like the seven that I'm no different really coming up with like ultimate master plan which might be perfectly to please right away telling you to like take like the simply division of the black shop of like the bad of their battle against like friends with like this now that are representing lebih untuk perenggak QE taking that which was then like okay it and basically for like at that point I'm looking for like 2 years to straight away like transport like signing up transportation and was likely stepping even interrogating transportation and getting a lot of that critical information about like the train connection in like the in like walk and like the terms like not explainable. So like during that told the breakfast to be more effective that interrogation of that of like translation that different for like effectively for like eventually strongly finding out about like even homeland of the like something so like I'm preparing for that most likely them recording the national like QE recording that interrogation video as well like of the translucent as well of all the information as well as the people statement. And then I'm going to bring them letting translucent the like the scenario that I'm going to bring by integrated translucent about like the translucent even make a mode translucent or like the seven that there to like make even possible make again like QE for like beliefs and ordering like religion according will be there to like the stuff like the world. And basically that will be like the end of like the war and the summit and everything. To be along the lines of like that absolute from start like I'm totally praying for like to be that absolute from start that I'm totally praying for actually and to be eventually ending up using again like the again like the one and like the seven to like to and to be with the lack of superpowers like same from like the two organizations of like to be able to like survive and depending it like to be organized from organization like the war and again like the boss to group of like the pair of seven like doing tsunami that I'm putting over the connection of their and that way I'm notifying that move of that by equity and to which I'm notifying to like like I'm only to things that is the board and like seven under like certain experience but right there yet like I'm not still from the other thing is really confident or like all confident that is that like they are superhero, like sevens of like Naruto, that superhero, like although of unique superpowers that they need, definitely they will be able to like get back and just with their help, with their work together, like they will definitely be able to like formulate that perfect counter strategies to that healthy get back and destroy that the recordings and like the copy of text recording and basically and at that point like it will be game over for like to and taking and at that point like they will like finally the Senate would be a league thereafter they have good craft against like fully and fully and that they at that point like eventually the publication and like they never messages like the Senate to get off the line number to bring like phone down with that point like converting like the seven as well as like a matter is like thing now seven to the brain and into the also a belief about the fact that for that the lead to that will be aware of that compound the performance might be that the case the name system. So that's the name point like during that interrogation of that practice now we come to bring it out with the happening like come to bring that will actually make once you translation on camera like really making translation reveal about that the compound we rumors are actually true that compound being like an active and like about like the social involvement of that the board organization as well as like the seven in which might like the like the compound we things might be just like the scenario like really making like transition to real or but as well as what exactly just like compound we and everything onto like camera like from the progression like translucent to really that way like not that about the so like at that point I'm going to sharing all of that like I'm going to bring form like from like to be so extremely disturbed and enraged at like the same that like the one of my and like to be at that point like straight away telling believe that like they must like make it public right now itself that I'm going to bring at that point for like you to be totally enraged like you know just caring about like the sevens and what bring if you down who has been laid down, like we not care about that at all. And he was just wanting to like get that crucial information, serving information out to like the public, for like the public to like find out that those might be definitely want like even might be wanting at that point to be considered. But then to saying that to like the but like at that point actually telling to it to that have to know that basically that's not what they have to do, that they have to like what actually that like that one of the different belief with that like heroes super heroes that are they take a sorry for like the word to let's say so to save the world, it's like the consumption that needs to be deployed to get up the next technically at that point telling you something. Doubly you'll be still in that up with 15 to 71 drivers. So that you have to bring for like and like at that point the legal technically that like now they have like that up with from that like this theory evidence that up with from that like now they can use the games like the what organization as well as can go to like keep them to put them in line and basically to and that way now is like when now is when like the real battle begins and basically to eventually form them to like actually the argument for to like actually convert like the one organization destroy the corruption within like your organization and then convert them into a genuine organization and like a genuine group that prioritize nothing other than saving like the world. Then in the scenario that I'm going to